top to bottom, cellular level, genetic level, organ level, whatever. Now, does that mean that we're going to be like Birdman and it's like, oh, hey, we're in a low
Hell yeah, hope so.
enough oxygen or a low enough gravity like planet, let's make your arms 20 feet longer and grow wings? Maybe in like, a few hundred, few thousand years. Not that you'd want to do that. Maybe you would. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
probably easier ways. But in the short term, this is going to have very profound impacts. So you might hear a lot of people talking about demographic collapse and inverting the pyramid and so on and so forth. But if a lot of people start living a lot longer, they're also going to have fewer children. But, we're going to reduce healthcare costs and blah, blah, blah. There's going to be a lot of positive effects and a few negative effects in terms of longevity. But I think it's a net major positive. And it'll happen just by virtue of the fact that it's like, oh, hey, we can cure this one thing, we can cure this other thing, and you will be, pretty much young and healthy forever, as long as you want to be. Obviously, there's still going to be accidents. There might be some diseases that we can't cure. There's going to be some accumulated diseases that are difficult to cure, chronic illnesses. But by and large, most people can expect to have a very long, healthy life within the next 20 years.
Yeah, but the question is, how long? And it does get to a point where you're just chasing that research where it's just like you're at a point. How much can you reverse the aging of people? That's what I'd like to know. That's interesting. How long would you be able to? Could you reverse aging if you're 80 years old? Hey, look, I've now been able to take this pill or do these things, and now I'm like I'm a 30-year-old again. Got no more wrinkles. I got no grey hair. I'm just like a 30-year-old, the physique of a 30-year-old. Is that possible? And how long would that take to get to that point? That would be interesting, because then the people that are chasing that anti-aging stuff now are kind of chasing the clock on their own lifespan. So they've got motivation to try and get the answers. Quick, do better.
That will be kind of forever. And then, of course, the longer you live, the more chances there are of curing whatever is left. So the point here is that all of these four technologies create compounding returns. Because if people live longer and healthier, that means all the best scientists and engineers they live longer, they have long.
Yeah, I don't remember him talking about this because I think I was falling asleep last night when I watched this. But definitely at the start of it, I was very intrigued. But yeah, it's just all compounding. Like I said, people live longer, people have more to contribute to the fields of their expertise to increase it. Anyway, whatever. Keep ranting about it. Blah, blah, blah. Continue.
Longer to do all this stuff. That feeds back into fusion, that feeds back into AI, that feeds back into quantum computing. Nuclear fusion gives us energy hyperabundance, which means we can recycle everything that we need and make everything that we need, which means that we can power all the chips and data centers, and that means that we can power all the quantum computers, and then the quantum computers and AI can all work together to solve every other problem. And so that's where you get that kind of exponential curve.
Just leave it to the AI.
Computational ability is going to go up exponentially, but also the scope of problems that we are able to solve with the help of quantum computers and artificial intelligence will also go up exponentially, and the intelligence of those things will go up exponentially. And even if there is a plateau, which I suspect there probably will be some mathematical limitations in terms of like how smart a thing can be. There's internal representations, there's quadratic expansion of problem spaces and that sort of thing. But even if that happens, we can have more of them and they can operate faster. Which means that even if there is a limit to, if there is a maximal intelligence, which some people believe in that, some people don't. I think someone said that like the maximum possible IQ is like 300 or something. I don't know if that's true. We'll find out. Like,
is that just in humans? Like what? I don't know. I'll have to look into that. The maximum possible IQ is 300. Yeah, but then what about AI? How far can intelligence for AI get to? Because obviously humans are limited by our bodies. Is there anyone? I haven't heard of anyone having 300 IQ. So I don't know. Lots of questions, no answers.
We'll find that limit if it's there. But then if there is a limit, if the smartest ASI has an IQ of 300, then we can make.
Okay, so ASI, so the last formation of artificial intelligence, ASI. That's what they're talking about, the limit of IQ of 300. I don't know how they get to that. It'll be interesting to look into that, which I will.
Make more of them, and they can go faster. And this will create compounding returns, hence the snowball effect. Okay, so in the long run, how is this going to affect you and me? Like, within 20 years, I do expect we're going to be in a post-labor economic situation, which basically means that the production of goods and services, all basic goods and services, will pretty much be done by machines. And you might say, okay, well...
Yeah, this is the part I remember. I think I kind of wasn't really paying as much attention to the previous parts somewhat, but then this is really interesting about post-labor economics and post-labor, so humans not doing labor work, labor jobs. Whew.
Well, yes, we're going to expand the economy other ways. There's going to be other new jobs. But what I mean is that all of your essentials, food, clothing, housing, power, all the basic necessities are basically going to have a near zero marginal cost. Now, there will be some scarcities like prime real estate. That will always be rare. But then you also look at how much of the Earth's surface is empty. There's a lot of green spaces that we can expand into. Here in America, you just go to Google Maps and look at Siberia and how empty it is, right? Like Siberia is a really big place and it's really green. There's a lot of places that we can expand into. And remember, if we have nuclear fusion and we can do, underground farming year round, then it's like, okay, well, we don't need arable land anymore.
Just come to Australia, mate. We got lots of land here.
So then all the farmland can be turned into something else. More green spaces, cities, towns, whatever. Now, the biggest constraint here, the biggest danger is not this narrative of post-labor economics, because it'll happen one way or another. We don't have to force this. It will happen just by virtue of the fact that we're going to keep seeking efficiencies. That's what the free market does. That's what capitalism does. That's what neoliberalism does, is we keep seeking efficiencies, and the most efficient way of producing goods and services is without humans. That is by design. That is where we're going to head. But the most dangerous status quo is the idea that we need to keep people working, that we need to keep, conventional jobs, that people must work for a subsistence wage. That is not going to work in the long run. But also, we also have a historical precedent for this level of disruption, because 200 years ago, most people were farmers. Now most people are not farmers. And you can argue that even most people today have BS jobs. And what I mean by BS job is something that doesn't actually contribute to the real economy or to real basic goods and services. And so we're already kind of in this detached space where the job that you have, like me here on YouTube, communicating with all of you, you might say this is non-essential. This doesn't actually raise the level of, human
What are you talking about? Doing YouTube videos is essential.
Productivity, but I am a communicator and I solve other problems. But the point is many levels of abstraction, and that's going to increase, where we're going to be more and more abstracted from the nitty gritty, the low level groundwork of what is actually productive. So this gives rise to what I call the meaning economy. And I've talked to a few other people about this who are researchers in the field. You can check out my interview with Oliver and Ellie over at the Meaning Institute. I did that interview a few weeks ago. And so basically, after thinking about it, I think there's going to be kind of 4 primary categories.
I like the circle outline with his head. I think I'll do that for the next live stream.